Hey there, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
And we are up to week 7 of the 2018 college football season. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top 10 teams, number 1 to number 10, and a couple more looks. But we're gonna start off with number 1 Alabama. They are hosting Missouri. So Missouri's coming in there. We expecting anything big here? Not really.
No, this should be another easy win for Alabama. I guess things to look for is Alabama's defense will literally come in and play a little bit better. But besides that, it's probably going to be a typical Alabama game.
Yeah. And then number 2, Georgia is going to go to LSU. So
it is interesting. Alabama, Georgia, 1 and 2 SEC teams right now.
Yeah.
Could we see another rematch later on in the playoffs? Maybe not. We'll see.
Maybe.
This is a big game. LSU just came off a disappointing loss against Florida.
Yes.
But you were saying you don't think Georgia is as good as people think they are.
I think there's, like I said, there's some chinks in the armor there. There's some things that, Fromm is great. He's a good quarterback without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, they definitely don't have the running game that they had in the past.
I agree with that.
So
who do you think wins?
Georgia.
Okay, I think Georgia wins as well.
All right. And then we have Minnesota's going to go play Ohio State, number 3 Ohio State. So
I think this is going to be similar to the Alabama game where Ohio State just goes off and destroys Minnesota.
I think it'll be an ugly game as well. Unless there's some upsets in this week.
And there's been upsets every week so far.
There are.
So we'll see.
So we never know. It could be Missouri.
No.
Okay, then we have number 4. Clemson actually has a bye this week, and then they're going to face North Carolina State.
This is a good bye for Clemson, considering North Carolina State is probably one of the only tough remaining opponents that they play, and they get a whole bye week to prepare for them.
Yeah, that's important. Then we have Pittsburgh's going to go to Notre Dame.
This should be another Notre Dame toast fest where they just go in there. I mean, because if they could do that to Stanford and Virginia Tech, they should be able to very easily handle Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think they can too, especially at home, even more so. Okay, then number 6, West Virginia is going to be at Iowa State.
Iowa State just beat Oklahoma State, so I mean they can play football. That being
with their
said,
third-string quarterback.
Greer, he's been struggling a little bit early on,
a
couple unnecessary interceptions and stuff, but the guy's still a great quarterback.
That being said, he's a great quarterback, and
so I think easy win for West Virginia.
Then a pretty big game.
Absolutely,
I think as far as Pac-12 is concerned, this is a very showing game, and that's Washington against Oregon. Both of them ranked coming into this. They're really the only 2 teams that are looking pretty good in the Pac-12.
Yeah, so we saw Oregon their abysmal defeat against Stanford, where they just collapsed at the end.
But then we saw what happened to Stanford last week.
Right. And then last time I voted against Washington, I saw how that ended for me.
Yeah.
Washington, incredible coach in Chris Peterson. Browning is starting just to pick up more and more as the season moves on. So I think Washington wins this, but I actually think they win it because of their defense.
Okay.
Because their defense can stop Oregon's little fancy offensive show.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they win the game.
All right. Well, it should be interesting. See how that one plays out. Probably one of the more interesting games of the week. Then you have a upset alert right in the middle here as we're going through. Number 8, Penn State's going to host Michigan State.
So I picked 2 upsets in the top 10, and my reasoning was I figure for some reason I just feel like at least 2 teams in the top 10 are going to lose this week.
Okay.
So I just had to choose 2 of them. And so Michigan State just came off a super disappointing loss against Northwestern.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they're an amazing team.
Michigan State?
Yes.
No.
I do think Penn State's an amazing team, but I just think every team can lose a game that they shouldn't, and I think this is going to be Penn State.
Yeah, I don't think so. But, hey, it's your call. It's called an upset, right?
There you go.
All right, then we have Baylor at number 9, Texas. So Texas has made it into the top 10.
This is my other upset, I just refuse to believe Texas is back.
Yeah.
And I refuse to, acknowledge it.
That might be the case, but is Baylor the one to derail that?
Probably not, but that's why it's an upset. I've seen Baylor play super close against some really bad teams.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Well, hey, how about this, though? Texas just came off a brutal game against Oklahoma.
And I think offensively Baylor can score on Texas.
Yeah.
So what it comes down to is, I don't know, can they get the the things that they need, like the turnovers. Can they win a turnover battle? Can they stop Texas from just rolling on them in the first half? And then we'll see if Baylor can win it. But I do think they can, and that they will.
All right.
Upset.
All right. That's your 2 upsets for this week. And then we have our number 10 team, UCF. They made it in the top 10. Kudos to UCF. And they are going to be at Memphis. Memphis is not a bad team. They had a really good game last week. They're not a bad team, but they have had losses this season, a couple losses. So, obviously they're not a great team. I expect them to, even they're hosting UCF, I expect them to get beat.
This looks to be another easy win for UCF on paper. That being said, they should be wary of Memphis. They've only lost 2 games. They're not a bad team. It's interesting to look down. I honestly think if UCF goes undefeated, they can make it to the playoffs this year because of USF and Cincinnati. They're both undefeated.
Also undefeated.
And they're both UCF's last 2 games of the season.
Mm.
It's just super interesting to look at because of the strength of scheduling if these 2 teams are ranked when they come and play them.
Which would really help if South Florida and Cincinnati stay undefeated up
Which
to that point.
Obviously I'm pretty sure they have to play each other, but that would just be one loss for one of them. That's a good looking ending there for UCF.
Is to have some ranked teams that you're going against at the end of the season. Sure.
So UCF has a lot that they're playing for because they're pretty much playing for the group of 5 teams in them of themselves.
Yes.
But so is Cincinnati. So is USF. It's interesting to look at these teams can compete. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that does make that interesting as we come
absolutely.
in. Okay, let's go out of the top 10 and just a couple more games to mention. And one is number 15, Wisconsin, and they're going to be playing number 12, Michigan.
Teams who could be in the top 10 next week, depending on how this game goes.
That is true. That is true. And depending on how some of the other ones go. But yeah,
I think coaching-wise, Michigan probably has the advantage on Wisconsin.
Sure.
But I just don't know who to pick for winning it. I feel like they play similar styles of football. Yeah. And I guess it's who catches the bigger breaks, maybe?
I expect this to be a pretty good game.
I do too.
Yeah.
I really do. I expect it to be a fun football game to watch.
Yeah.
Some hard football.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I expect. So we'll see. And then the final one, Boise. They're going to be at Nevada.
I want to mention this big game because I'm starting to get more and more nervous that Boise is going to have a 6-6 season. So they're going against a 3-3 Nevada. Can Boise bounce back? We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see. It comes down to, I think, fundamentals. Boise just needs to go back to the drawing board. It's weird. It's like one game our defense will do amazing and our offense will not. And then like the Oklahoma State game, our offense did phenomenal as far as ripping goes, but our defense just could do nothing. And then this game, our defense does everything they can, but then our offense does nothing. So unless both sides of the football can start playing well, I think
both sides of football play well, then they're a tough team to beat.
Yeah, I agree.
But they're a little off this year. I'm not sure what it is, but so we'll see how they do. Hopefully they'll fare well at Nevada. But thank you for joining us this week, and join us next week as we look at the recap of Week 7 and then press into Week 8.